Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Thank you. Now we have the minutes of both the December 6th and December 7th meetings. I think we can move them together. Is there a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded for the discussion? If
Mr.
not,
Chair,
Commissioner?
I do need to just make one comment. I read all the minutes carefully, and this week I approached our staff and told them that there was a problem in the minutes, but I'm proud to say that I was wrong and the minutes were perfect. And I would like to take this opportunity to call them out, as I try to do annually. The minutes that are done for these meetings and our committee meetings are just flawless. They do such a good job, and want to recognize all of the staff, but particularly Teresa. She does a fabulous job. And Jill, in this particular case, who had done the minutes for December 6th that I called into question. I was completely wrong, and I told her that I would say that publicly. So there you go, Jill.
Thank you for that. They are our historic records, Commissioner, and I appreciate the fact that you review them because they last nearly forever. Thank you for that. Item number 7 is Chair's remarks. I will comment just a couple of things. One of them I feel in rare form once again, for you know that I have been missing my holiday ties over these last several weeks, and many of you know I tend to wear them throughout this season. And Commissioner Schulte was good enough to donate me one, and so I'm back in rare style once again. Thank you very much, Commissioner. I will comment that I want to thank all of you for providing me the opportunity to serve as your chair. I appreciate the fact that you had the confidence in me that you anticipate I can discharge those responsibilities faithfully, and I will certainly do that to the best of my ability. You can anticipate that there will be no radical changes in the committee structure of this board or county government and its departmental organizations. I'm pretty comfortable with how things are today. So I think that is good news. I assume that we'll all work together to the best of our ability to serve the interests and needs of Anoka County. And I thank you for your participation in that, and once again, your confidence in me. Thank you very much. With that, we can take item A. Item A is regarding information pieces. This is a recognition I saw a little bit ago at the AMC convention. It's for the Library Volunteer Program recently received award from the Association of Minnesota Counties and Local Governments Innovation. And here today to help us with that discussion is our library representative, Commissioner Gamache. Can you lead us in some discussion of this?
Thank you, Commissioner Kordiak. Beginning in 2016, Anoka County Library staff reimagined the library's longstanding teen volunteer program from the ground up, using best practices from the youth development and after-school fields to infuse quality into its program. This revamp resulted in a youth-focused volunteer program. In 2015, prior to the program redesign, just 4 of 16 teens worked consistent hours in all 3 summer months at the pilot library. After changes were implemented, 19 of 21 teens logged consistent hours all summer long, only 1 of whom had volunteered previously. Showing that the Volunteen program changes both attracted and better retained teen volunteers, Anoka County has created a program that delivers services with greater impact at a lower cost. Now I'd like to have the library director, Maggie Snow, approach the board to tell us more about the Volunteen program, the awards, and introduce the team that was there. And actually some of them were able to attend our AMC meeting and receive the award themselves. So Maggie?
Thank you. Chair, Commissioners, I'm Maggie Snow, the Director of the Anoka County Library, and I'm delighted today to be able to celebrate the good work that librarians are doing on behalf of kids and teens in Anoka County every day. With me today is Caitlin High-Gherkin-Green, who has been with the Volunteen program. She was part of the team that started the revamp at the Crooked Lake Library and then brought it to the Northtown Library, and she's here to say a few words, so I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Good morning to you, Chair, Commissioners, and to all of you here today, and thank you for your time. The Anoka County Library's Volunteen program is a long-standing opportunity for Anoka County teens ages 12 to 17 to donate their time and service to the library as a way of giving back to the community. However, beginning in 2016, library staff realized as a result of training in youth development that our Volunteen program could be improved for little cost and some effort to produce better results for both the library and for the teen volunteers themselves. So just to give you a little background, Prior to 2016, the philosophy of our volunteer program was essentially, what can these youth do for the library? And the focus for staff was on finding things they could do to fill their service hours, from filling holds to cleaning children's books. This was unsatisfactory. It was uninspiring to the teens as a way to spend their summers. It was taxing and time-consuming for staff to continuously find work that the teens could do. Following our shift in philosophy, library staff started thinking about volunteers as library customers as well as volunteers. We started thinking, what can the library do to help volunteers learn, thrive, and achieve their goals, whether they're with us over the summer or after school? As a response to our training and best practices from the after-school field, staff at Key Libraries reworked the entire program to be a better experience for teen volunteers. Weekly group meetings, personal projects centered on individual students' interests, social-emotional learning activities like goal setting, leading meetings, team activities, project planning, and more are now hallmarks of the program. Volunteer activities and curriculum are still changing through a continuous improvement cycle that allows us to incorporate new learning as we go. Where 2016 saw an interview and an orientation process for the volunteers that promoted accountability and built job skills, in 2017 teens began to choose their own work, and in 2018 we integrated full summer-long personal projects into our expectations for the teens. These personal projects give agency to volunteers to determine how they spend some of their time. Library staff now serve as guides and mentors rather than taskmasters, as the teens now focus on collaboration and working together to achieve learning goals, as well as helping with specific projects. Projects completed by teens this year included creating a training plan for new runners, publishing a website about the history of the internet, using new programming knowledge to create original online games on several platforms, starting a community-based GSA organization, learning to speak and write Korean language, learning about the history of the U.S. Air Force and how to become a pilot, and more. This learning was shared in the library building through displays and demonstration for the community to see. In the future, we hope to share volunteer projects online through the website to inspire others. Our diverse group of teens also built relationships among themselves and with staff as adult role models that they wouldn't have in the former program model. They made friends and had a chance to work together to accomplish shared goals. All of this is borne out in our evaluated outcomes. Better retention, higher satisfaction with the program, and increased volunteer hours mean increased benefits for the library. Not only do volunteer hours represent real value for the library's bottom line, and the positive experience volunteers are having also makes them better advocates for the public library, and we hope more likely to be library customers and supporters in the future. Our program is sufficiently unique in the library world that our report was published in a professional library publication, VOYA, or Voices of Youth Advocates, in October of 2017. We have been pleased to be able to train our Anoka County Library colleagues, present this work at several conferences in state and nationally, and have been happy to see our process and ideas resonate with colleagues in the field. With your support, we hope to continue to grow this and other library programs in innovative ways. Thank you.
Caitlin, thank you for your comments. You stole some of my thunder because I've served on the county library board for many years, and your team, and with your support, the SNOW, have come up with a whole variety of interesting, unique programs that you don't always see, that you come up with things that are kind of remarkable in my estimation, because I see your introduction to various things going on, so I think that you put together some very resourceful and interesting opportunities that provide great opportunity for the many guests that we have in our library system. So thank you for your contributions for that, and Maggie for your support of their efforts to make our library system robust for our community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies, thank you very much. Maggie? As we started, there are two items for consideration today, and a recognition that we will have great interest in and appreciation of. For our next recognition, the Anoka County Sheriff, James Stewart, who recently received quite an honor from the Minnesota Sheriff's Association. I understand isn't normally handed out. It's somewhat unique in the distribution. It's not something they do routinely, but they have recognized the contributions and efforts of our sheriff for the many things that he has been doing within our county and within his sector of county government. Sheriff, we appreciate all that you do. You're always a colorful addition around our departments and offices, and to comment further is our representative of the committee, Julie Breasted to comment furder about this recognition. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kordiak. Well, the 2018 Minnesota Sheriff's Association President's Award is given to a sheriff who exemplifies the core values of the Minnesota Sheriff's Association, who gives unselfishly of himself and his time for the good of this state's sheriffs, and who works tirelessly to promote and advance the association. Sheriff Stewart is certainly deserving of this award. He's heavily involved in law enforcement in our community and on the state and national levels. Let me take a moment to mention just some of the committees and the boards on which he serves. Sheriff Stewart is an executive board on the MSA Legislative and Training Committees. He is on the board of directors for the National Sheriff's Association and the Equal Justice Committee. And he's a board member of Hope for Youth, which is a local nonprofit that helps youth experiencing homelessness. Sheriff Stewart is also a member of several other committees, coalition, and task force, including the Domestic Violence and Crime Services Committee, the Youth Programs and Juvenile Justice Committee, the Global Policy Affairs Committee, the National Domestic Preparedness Coalition, and the Executive Committee for the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force. So he's a busy guy. Sheriff Stewart is involved in many other organizations and initiatives that I didn't mention here as well. He works hard every day to ensure the safety of citizens and the development of our youth. This is not Sheriff Stewart's first high-profile accolade. He has been nominated for National Sheriff of the Year, and he was awarded the Medal of Merit by the National Sheriff's Association in 2015 and 2016 for his contributions to the community and to the field of criminal justice. And just personally, I think it is truly a pleasure to chair public safety and work with the sheriff and his staff on public safety issues for the county. So congratulations, Sheriff Stewart, and please tell us more about your award, the Minnesota Sheriff's Association, and along with your other recent efforts to promote the office of sheriff.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the board. It's a pretty humbling experience to be acknowledged that way, and I appreciate the recognition here this morning. For the record, my name is James Stewart, and it is my distinct privilege to serve as the Sheriff of Anoka County. And I know you hear me say that every time, and whenever I make a public introduction, I do say that because I think it's critically important that none of us, and especially myself, ever forget what a true privilege it is to be elected by the citizens that we serve, and in our case, to protect and serve. And as I see those community partnerships established all across our county and even beyond, it really is humbling to see all the great things and all the different programs that are being established. Within our office, community outreach, you heard youth mentioned several times in there. The focus on youth is very intentional. I know that to be cliche, that's our future, right? And so we know that there's a lot of struggles that they're facing. So we do what we can do to make a positive impact and to set them on positive paths. And within our office, we also embrace our roles as ambassadors and trying to make positive impacts in our communities. And so some of the things, just I could go on for hours just talking about our programs, but just in the past few weeks even, we did the cancer fundraiser, and we've done the Toys for Joy fundraiser, and we were at Dropbox location. We partnered with Hope for Youth to be the Out in the Cold for Youth, which the county board participated in. Thank you very much for that, as we all seek to help them get a hand up, not a hand out, and help these youth become the individuals that they were designed to be. We have also done the Shop with a Cop for the underprivileged kids, and this Thursday we've partnered with Santa Claus. He's actually coming in early, and we're going to have a lot of our deputies distributing a lot of gifts and some food baskets to needy families throughout Anoka County. And so the list goes on, but what's core to that is that I couldn't do it without an amazing team. And we also have the criminal justice initiatives, many of which were first in the state, and it's because of our commitment to not just doing new, innovative, and things that'll help us run more efficiently, but we're committed to doing them right in a way that we set the standard, and we're not going to be a negative headline for as a learning lesson for other individuals. And that couldn't happen without Chief Deputy Helwig, our amazing command staff, and every member of our office who all not just embrace this vision of outreach, but this vision of doing it right and being positive ambassadors in our community. So I truly am blessed. I appreciate being here today. Another big part of that is we couldn't do it without the community partnerships all across the county, and quite honestly, even on the national level and across the state. And that includes right here, my partnership, my relationship with the county board. So I thank each of you for that relationship, for that partnership, and I thank you for this recognition this morning.
Sheriff, thank you. You have served this county well, and we're proud of you.
Thank you.
You pointed out yourself, and I was thinking that you have worked well with this county board. We've had fine relationships. We go about getting the business of county government done. This county board, as you well know, sees public safety as a priority. It is one of our priorities. And the last number of weeks, I've had the opportunity, some of the highlights of my history, I guess, but one of them I always bring up is a public safety center building. We used to be scattered around in various locations around the county, and I'm so happy now and so proud that you can enjoy a one location, ranging from forensics science to storing your equipment in, with all of your command staff and our deputies throughout this county. It's robust, it's good for us, and yet you take fine advantage of that, and you are forever hosting community gatherings of one kind or another, pulling people together all the time. I've got one to one recently, walking around your airboats and your other things, just to make sure people know what's there and that they can reach out to you. And so you're very accessible, and you and your team do a fine job for Anoka County.
Thank you very much.
If I can.
Congratulations on your award.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, if I can add a couple of things. I also want to add my personal congratulations to Sheriff Stewart. Jim and I have known each other quite a long time, and as the other elected public safety official here in Anoka County, I certainly am proud of the relationship that has been forged between the sheriff and me, and certainly between our offices. I think it is a great example of cooperation, which has helped, I think, enable public safety in Anoka County to be accomplished in a much, much more professional level. And I'm very, very grateful to the sheriff and to all the people in his office for that spirit of cooperation with the attorneys in our office. So thank you. I want to say that publicly, Jim. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Well, let's give the sheriff a round of applause.
Very good, thank you, and congratulations again, Sheriff. I think we can take up our various business items that we have before us today. I'm actually going to ask that we do the management committee item. We're going to make that item number one today. We had an action this morning that we need to address, and it's before you. Commissioner West, if you could lead us in that discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today's item is recommending that we adopt Resolution 2018-M9. It's a resolution approving the tentative agreement between the County of Anoka and Law Enforcement Labor Services. It's representing the Sheriff's Office detention deputy for the calendar years 2018 through 2020. And I will offer that resolution.
Resolution's been offered. Unless there's any further comment? Call the roll.
Well, I'll just comment again. This is the last one for this.
Yeah, it is.
Finally
It is.
done. And as the others, it does cover 3 years, which has been a change from what we've had in the past.
Very good. Call the roll.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte, Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
And Mr. Chairman, that completes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. We can now go to the Transportation Committee report. Commissioner Schulte.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Transportation Committee had the opportunity to meet on Monday, December 10th here in the Government Center at 9 a.m. And we've got 3 items for your consideration. Agenda item 4 will be stricken from your agenda. We were looking for an approval from the state, which we do not have yet for item 4. So on to item 1, the committee recommends approval of a resolution authorizing Anoka County to enter into a local road improvement program, or LRIP, agreement with the Minnesota Department of Transportation for the engineering design services associated with the Hornsby Street realignment project in the city of Columbus.
Mr. Chairman, I'll offer the resolution.
It's been offered. Any other comment? You call the roll on that? I think we'll do them individually.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Next.
Secondly, the committee recommends approval of a resolution authorizing the county engineer to acquire the property at 1301 Bunker Lake Boulevard Northeast in the city of Ham Lake. I would simply just say this is a parcel of land very near the intersection of Highway 65 and Bunker Lake Boulevard, where there's some new construction that's about to happen, and this gives us a little more room for stormwater ponding and service road access and other reasons.
I'll offer the resolution.
Been offered. Further comment? Would you call the roll?
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
And our last action item, number 3, the committee recommends award of a contract to Egan Companies in the amount of $134,500 for the Anoka County Hanson Boulevard Signal Interconnect Project from Coon Rapids Boulevard to Main Street in the city of Coon Rapids. I would comment that this comes at a rather opportune time, as there's 2 fairly large construction projects on Hanson Boulevard, including the railroad grade separation and then the transportation improvement project from Highway 10 to Main Street on Hanson. That would be in the coming years, and this interconnect project can be interwoven into those projects for less disruption.
Very good.
I will move it.
Been offered. Further comment?
It's actually a contract, Mr. Chair, so I'll
It's a
move, I'll
comment.
move
It's
this
a
one.
motion?
I'll
Okay, is there
second
a
it.
second? Moved and seconded. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor, sing by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Yeah, it does say roll call. Let's assume it can be roll call. Let's do a roll call and assume that may be proper.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
And Mr. Chair, I would point out that information item 5 is something that we'll be taking up in a public hearing here today. It's in regards to our transportation system plans, park plans, and others. And Doug Fisher will be here later to present that to us under the public hearing. With that, it does conclude my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Moving on to the finance and capital improvements. It's normally something that Commissioner Look would handle. He is not here today. Commissioner Brassad is vice chair of that committee, and we'll ask her to carry that discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee recommends the county board adopt resolution 2018-F7, which is automobile deductible reimbursement policy. After 33 years of having the amount set at $250, we are recommending that be raised to $500. What this does is cover an employee's car if they're driving on county business. If by chance they're in an accident, we will reimburse up to $500. The alternative to this is to have a fleet supply of vehicles for employees, which we feel this is a better option. If they're willing to drive their vehicle for county business, we want to make sure that it isn't a burden. So I'll offer the resolution.
For the comment? If not, call the roll.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Pass.
Item number 2 is the committee recommends the county board approve a budget adjustment of $50,644 for the 2018 Minnesota Extension Program to cover the memorandum of agreement. It was brought to our attention that we were not actually fulfilling our end of the agreement, so this adjustment will make us in step with what we agreed to. And I'll move that.
There's a motion.
Second.
Actually, there's a note here to call for a roll call. Do you think it appropriate? I see a nod.
Chair, yes.
Maybe it is appropriate. I might just take the opportunity to comment as part of that discussion. I appreciate the board's discussion on that. Ag extension is important to Anoka County. They discharge many things, and there was a curious issues regarding budgetary concerns, and I think after full discussion, we not only resolved that, but look forward into the next 3-year tenure with that organization. So we've had a long history with working with Ag Extension, with the University of Minnesota Extension Services. So thank you for leading that, for sharing that discussion. We have a motion, we have a resolution before us. Roll call.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Unanimous.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. We can then look to Human Services Commission and Committee report with Commissioner Silveraja.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Recommendations from our December 11th Human Services Committee meeting are before us today. Under Social Services, it is to consider recommending the county board accept the transfer of housing support emergency shelter funds in an amount of $845,646 from the Minnesota Department of Human Services, Housing and Support Services Division from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. And then the next item is to consider recommending the county board enter into a contract with Stepping Stone Emergency Housing for housing support emergency shelter funding in an amount of $845,646 from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. Mr. Chairman, essentially what this is there was legislative action, which we were very obviously supportive of, along with Stepping Stone, which really streamlines the process for them and also saves significant staff time for us. It's really looking at an average and a block so that they can receive the funds directly without our staff going out and taking an application and going through that process for each individual. So certainly a significant efficiency, and we just appreciate the great support of legislators in recognizing that this is just a common sense measure. So Mr. Chairman, I am happy to move items 1 and 2.
Second.
Moved and seconded. I will just comment regarding Stepping Stone. They really have become kind of an institution around here. They've helped to serve an important issue and concern regarding housing of people, and they've really become an important part of what Anoka County does, and they're a great partner when we're working in our community. So unless there's any other comment, Commissioner?
Mr. Chair, I also sit on the Stepping Stone board, so I will abstain.
Okay. Let's call a roll on that.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Abstain.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, under Behavioral Health,
Pass.
consider recommending the county board accept funding from the Minnesota Department of Human Services from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2020 for Adult Mental Health Initiative Grant in the amount of $765,075 per year, and the Adult Mental Health Community Support Program grant in an amount of $615,721 per year. And then, Mr. Chairman, the next item is to consider recommending the county board then enter into a contract with Canvas Health for mobile mental health crisis response services for adults and children in an amount not to exceed $541,162. That's actually a 5% decrease, and that is really the hard work and dedication of our staff in really working with some of our providers. And so that contract is from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019. And I would move, Mr. Chairman, items 3 and 4.
Second.
Moved and seconded. For the discussion? If not, let's call the roll on that.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, the next item is Resolution 2018 HS21, Economic Assistance Bills, and I will offer that resolution.
Resolution has been offered. Discussion? If not, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Passed. Next.
And the next item is Resolution 2018 HS22, accepting gifts for human services. And, you know, we are always so appreciative when we have local entities and folks who are so generous to support some of the services that we offer. And we were actually contacted by a nonprofit organization called Adoption is Love Fund. And they were donating items for children placed in foster care through Children and Family Services. And so, you know, as you may know, Mr. Chairman, we have done a great deal of work in the area of foster care recruitment and adoption support. And this is just one more organization who is really kind of wrapping their arms around those families and providing that additional support. So we just really appreciate that, and I would offer that resolution.
It's been offered. Further comment? If not, call a roll.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye. Passed. Next.
And Mr. Chairman, the last item is Resolution 2018-HS23, addressing the 2019-2020 Comprehensive Plan with 2019 correctional service fees. And I know that our staff go through a great deal of work to put this together. It's an important document that really allows us to also look back at, of course, not only the fee structures, but really some of the information as to where we are at and different benchmarks and outcomes. And we just appreciate the great work of staff in really pulling that together. And it's a lot of work, but it is a much needed document. So I will offer the resolution.
It's been offered. Further comment? Let's call the roll.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Passed. Commissioner?
That
Concludes your
concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll accept that. You're on a roll, Commissioner. I think there's two more items that you might consider concluding in the intergovernmental area. Items what, D and E?
So, Mr. Chairman, the committee met and it was informational items only, but what I would like to do is bring forward a chair's report, and that is a recommendation that the county board approve contract C0006994, a contract renewal with Anoka County Medical Examiner Dr. Quinn Strobel for a 4-year term for January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2022. And I would just comment, I think we have just been incredibly blessed to have Dr. Quinn Strobel. She does amazing work, and certainly all of the various counties that we work with have great respect and high regard for her professionalism and really her responsiveness and her caring. So I am very proud to move this contract forward.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Let me just comment regarding that while in this case it's regarding Dr. Strobel, it really, I mean, that coroner's office is a remarkable edifice in Anoka County. We are the principal coroner's office for 22 counties throughout this state and others, quite frankly, as well as other jurisdictions in the state of Minnesota. We also work with hospitals, we work with individuals, we have a facility that handles 22 opportunities. But I'm told that people are in and out in simply a day. We built that for Anoka County. We reached out to others. I think all of us are very proud of what we've accomplished there. So we do congratulate her and thank her for her service. She's critical to that ongoing operation.
And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
I don't think we acted on that.
Oh, sorry.
We will act. We have a motion, a second. All those in favor, simply saying aye.
Roll call.
I'm sorry, we'll make it a roll call. Yes.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad, Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Passed. Thank you, Commissioner. I can turn one over to me. We have a Parks report. It's relatively brief today. Mr. Perry is here and he could comment. It's pretty straightforward. The first one is regarding, we've been working on this in a variety of other arenas, most notably highway and intergovernmental. We're here considering a resolution 2018 PRK 18 supporting county system plan and authorizing its submission to the Metropolitan Council. Superior can talk about that a little bit. This is a plan that we've sometimes gone outside to work on, but we really did that internally and saved resources, and we feel very happy with the outcome, I think. Mr. Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Jeff Perry, Park Director for Anoka County. In accordance with state statute and Metropolitan Council policy requirements, Anoka County is required to prepare and submit a comprehensive park system plan every 10 years. In addition, the county board is required to consider a resolution authorizing submission of the plan to the Metropolitan Council. The draft Anoka County Park System Plan is the result of a 2-year planning process involving county staff, citizens, outside agency representatives, and elected officials. The plan objective is clear and concise. First and foremost, it establishes and guides the strategic direction of the park system over the next decade. It serves as a vision and planning document to guide development, operations, and natural resources conservation. And lastly, it advances Anoka County's goal of being a model park system that instills a sense of pride and enthusiasm among the citizens while furthering the standards of innovation, fiscal responsibility, and park excellence here in Anoka County. The final draft of the system plan was presented to the county board and to the public on October 23rd, 2018. Since then, no additional comments have been received from the public or from the other stakeholder agencies as a result of the public hearing. So the plan is now ready for submittal. Lastly, as Mr. Chair had mentioned, the report was completed 100% in-house staff in an effort to save county tax dollars. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all the members of the public that provided their input on the plan, along with the interagency stakeholders that also provided input to Anoka County. With that said, Mr. Chair, members of the board, the Park Committee recommends adopting Resolution 2018-154, authorizing submittal of the Park System Plan to the Met Council. And one final note of clarification, the resolution also includes the transportation plan as well as the intergovernmental plan, and there's a public hearing on the transportation plan coming shortly after my presentation here. So with that said, thank you for consideration of this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Perry.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner.
Could I just get a clarification of the resolution number? I have 2018-PRK18. Am I assuming that that's just the park resolution within a bigger resolution going to the Metropolitan Council that includes transportation?
Yeah, I think that there are 3 individual resolutions that were done, one in IG, one in Parks, and one in Highway. All of them are melded together and under a single action that we'll deal with in public hearing shortly, I think, is how that works.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, my only confusion is I did see the resolution you announced earlier, and then after Mr. Perry spoke, he announced a different resolution. So just want to clarify which resolution we're going to currently be voting on.
Didn't catch that. What I'm looking at, Mr. Perry, is 2018 PRK 18.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, there's the resolution that's on the agenda has a different number, so I'm not quite clear what resolution number is the appropriate one that includes all 3 of the plans.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner.
Mr. Perry, could I have you repeat just the end of your comments? You referenced a resolution number. Could you repeat that number for me, please?
Yes, that was resolution, Anoka County Resolution 2018-154, which is on the number that's in the agenda this morning.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chair, if I understand correctly, the 2018 PRK is what we're voting on here in the Parks Committee, and the 154 will be before us later, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, that is
I see
correct.
heads nodding. It seemed to be the case.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Sorry for the confusion. I just
That's
wanted to
okay.
clear it up
No,
in my head.
needed a little to plug a finger in the hole of that dike. That Commissioner. Where have we left that? It is, we need an offer of that resolution.
I'll offer it.
It's been offered. Further comment? Thank you. If not, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Carried. And the next item is item number 2. It's adopting the resolution 2018 PRK 19, hopefully. And it's accepting a donation from Jim Kordiak for boulders that will be placed in the Anoka County Park System. I'll just comment, if I can, Commissioners, that I'm sick and tired of getting benches every time we get a donation. There's so many things that can benefit our park system, and I just personally have always been fascinated by unique and colorful and well-placed boulders and rocks of many kinds. You find them in downtown Minneapolis, walking in Hennepin Avenue and everywhere else. We will go shopping someday and place some of those in appropriate locations near children's playgrounds and park shelters and park trailways and whatever. We will find some. None of them will carry anybody's name on them. They will just be a historic monument in the park. Is there an offer to that resolution?
Mr. Chairman, I will offer the resolution.
It's been offered. Further discussion?
Mr. Chairman. I want to say thank you on behalf of the whole county board and really the citizens of Anoka County for your very generous donation to our park system. And I think all of us know that you can have all of the playground equipment and other things in the world, but kids like to climb on rocks and trees and really get out there and enjoy nature. So I think it'll be a very nice addition and feature within our park system. So thank you for your generosity.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that. Any other comment about that? If not, let's call that roll.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Unanimous. The remaining items are for information purposes only. None of them were overly outstanding, so that would conclude my parks report. Mr. Perry, thank you very much. We then can talk about property records and taxation. There are a couple items that require your attention today. On that agenda, item number 1 is regarding an opportunity for repurchase. It's in Commissioner Silveraja's jurisdiction or whole area. And we're always happy to see people have properties go back into the hands of people who had once held them. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move approval.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner West. Unless there's a further comment, I think this is a motion. All those in favor, somebody saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Carried. Thank you. Item number 2 is regarding the Anoka County seeks to purchase of service between the Anoka County and Intech Software Solutions Incorporated, working with Modus Election operating the system that we operate on. In the amount, the cost for 2019 should be $70,896, and the cost for 2020 $72,668. A little bit confusing, but this is a scheduling system that we use in elections. We've had it in place before. It's important to what they do. It helps to tell them where all of their equipment is located throughout all of Anoka County, and helps to set up all the many sites and locations that we have election activity at, and I forget what all the other pieces are.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move approval.
There's a motion?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. It's not a resolution, but it is a roll call. Let's do a roll call on that contract.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Aye. I did that. Oh, I thought. Commissioner Brassad.
Mr. Chairman? I just wanted to note that a number of years ago, we embarked on this relationship for this contract, and I think at that point in time, we were the first ones in the state to do so, because we saw it as an opportunity to really bring about some standardization and efficiencies within the election system and working with all of the cities as well, really as you indicated, and I think that it has been a very wise investment, and just appreciate the board's support in kind of taking a chance on something that was new and different, but I think it has proven to be very effective.
Thank you for the comment, Commissioner. I didn't seek discussion, but thank you for your additional comment. Thank you. Unless there's any further on that, we'll move to item number 3. Item 3, once again, is a relationship that we seek to have. It's a contract C006973 to joint powers agreement between Anoka County and the Anoka-Hennepin Independent School District for election services at a base cost amount of, $55,000. You recognize that they typically might use our equipment to run their election activity. They work with our ballots and our processes. They reimburse us where appropriate and pretty much run their own operations. So there's little cost to Anoka County except our jurisdictional obligation to record the election outcomes. Unless there's any question about that, is there a motion?
So move it.
I heard a motion and a second from Commissioner Schulte. Any other comment? If not, it's a roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. The remaining items are for information purposes only. One of the more interesting one was the annual Coon Lake Beach or Lake report. It's an obligatory obligation of theirs to let us know, but we know that we've worked hard to help make sure that that remains an important part of our waterways in Anoka County, and they do struggle with some issues, but the homeowners have taken upon themselves to do much to help make sure that that lakefront and beach of ours is safe and secure and utilized by the public successfully. That would conclude my report. Thank you very much. If you move to a public hearing now, let's look to our county attorney, Mr. Palumbo, to lead us in that discussion.
All right, Mr. Chair, at this time I would then convene a public hearing to obtain public comment on the Anoka County 2040 Transportation System Plan, which is a plan to establish and guide the strategic direction of the transportation system over the next decade and the county's intergovernmental plan. I would ask the clerk to take note that notice of this public hearing has been published in the county's official newspaper on December 7th and December 14th of 2018, and that should be made part of the record. At this time, I then call on Transportation Division Manager Doug Fisher to at least inform the board as to the subject matter of this particular public hearing. Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Palumbo. Mr. Chair, County Board members, my name is Doug Fisher. I'm Transportation Division Manager, and I'd like to give you a brief overview of the 2040 Transportation Plan update. In this presentation, I will cover the purpose of the transportation plan, overview of what's in the draft transportation plan. We will have the public comment section, and then the next step with the resolution that we will be asking you to approve. So why do we need to complete a transportation plan? Primarily, besides planning is a very good idea, we are required by law to prepare a comprehensive transportation plan every 10 years. Elements required in this plan are the goals and priorities to guide our investments, to document the needs of our system, to facilitate the coordination with our stakeholders, our cities, surrounding counties and communities, and again, comply with state law and regional laws. And I will note that this plan is available on our project website listed here. Our 5-year capital improvements program leads investments for the next 5 years, but this plan essentially then helps us cover our direction and our investment strategies in the midterm between 5 and 10 years, and then the long term, 10 years and longer. The transportation plan includes all modes: highway, transit, bike, ped, aviation, and freight and rail. Looks at existing conditions and then provides a system check out to year 2040. This plan is prepared and coordinated with all of our cities and our one township, and again, our surrounding communities. The goals of this plan are transportation system stewardship, and that's essentially maintaining what we have and keeping what we have in good repair. Safety and security. Safety is a high priority for our system, and secure transportation resources is good for our communities, access to destinations, competitive economy, and a healthy environment. And these goals of our plan are consistent with the goals of the Metropolitan Council's Transportation Policy Plan as well. With regards to transportation, travel is primarily a product of where people live and where people work, play, recreate, go to worship. So understanding our population growth is an important aspect of our transportation plan. With regards to population, Anoka County is expected to grow by over 90,000 people between 2010 and 2040, which is the study period of this plan. Blaine will lead this growth and will be the largest city with nearly 90,000 people. With respect to employment trends, which is the other part of that equation of travel demand, we expect the county will produce an increase of over 24,000 jobs during this time. Cities with the most jobs will continue to be Fridley, Coon Rapids, and Blaine, as they are now. Traffic congestion is a huge problem in Anoka County, especially on the state corridors of Trunk Highway 10 and Trunk Highway 65. I am pleased to report that the county highway system is doing very well in this regard. It should be noted that Hanson Boulevard is one of our congested corridors that we identify in this plan, but that will be under construction for expansion next year. So we are already addressing some of those issues on the county highway system. That reconstruction project, actually, if you look on this map, I know it's hard to read, but two of those red sections between Highway 10 and Main Street, and then north of Bunker, between Bunker and Crosstown, will be addressed in next year's construction program. By 2040, congestion gets worse where no improvements are assumed. But remember, this plan can only incorporate those projects in our current 5-year CIP. So essentially what this would say is if we did nothing after 5 years, then this is how bad it's going to get. As we know, we will keep reloading our 5-year plan on an annual basis to keep improving the county highway system and the trunk highway system, and we will be working very effectively with MnDOT in upgrading the Highway 10 corridor and starting to address some of the issues on Highway 65. So these numbers do look alarming, and they are. I think it does keep the focus that continuous improvement of our highway system is something that we need to keep working on. Again, when you look at our population growth, you look at our employment growth, and some of the recreational opportunities that we have here in Anoka County, this will always be a priority to maintain our highway infrastructure. Of course, safety is one of our highest priorities. I am pleased to report that our county roads have become more safer over the past 10 years since the last plan was prepared, and that is very good news. Our roads, and when we compare our roads compared to statewide averages, we are doing better than statewide averages. And this is very important. If you look at the actual goal that we have for crashes in our plan, our goal is 0. That's our goal. We won't. I look at the airline industry, the commercial airline industry, Delta. The big. What is their safety goal? 0. We want to have 0 too.
I think it's your roundabouts that have done that. Go ahead.
Potential capacity improvements. Again, this plan, we do have, as I mentioned, some capacity improvements already identified in our 5-year capital improvement program, But this gives us a glimpse of where we should be focusing some of our investments in the future. Our county system and some of these projects, 7th Avenue, Coon Creek Boulevard, Hanson Boulevard I mentioned, Hodgson Roads and others, these are projects that will be coming into our 5-year capital improvement programs in the midterm. You can see some of our highway system is nearing capacity, and some of these projects will be probably in that 5-year or 10-year plus CIPs, but something that we'll be working on. The other thing that our plan recognizes, but it is fairly long-term, is we're still saying there is a potential for a Mississippi River crossing in the western part, southwestern part of the county, and a northerly bypass of the chain of lakes in the Lino Lakes area. These are still components of our plan, again, but they are long-term, very long-term, but not excluded from this transportation plan. So where are we at right now? We released our draft plan in May of 2018 to, again, our internal cities and surrounding cities and counties, our school districts, watershed districts, and WMOs, the required state agencies, and the required state agency. Generally, so far, the comments that we have received are either no comment, they have no comment on our plan, or very minor or not very substantial, more or less editing elements. So we are very pleased that our plan is very consistent with the local plans as well. So at this time, I would like to turn the meeting back to County Attorney Palumbo. We do have intergovernmental piece. You already heard the public hearing piece for the park piece at a previous board meeting. Karen Skepper would like to give a piece on the intergovernmental. And then the resolution that we are asking for would be to forward the plan, all 3 plans, to the Met Council.
Before we do that, I'll ask the board if there's any questions of Mr. Fisher on his portion. Does the board have any questions? Okay.
Can I just comment? I've always been impressed with the information that you keep on every mile, I forget how many, of our county highway system. You keep track of every intersection, every roadway, the road quality, its complexion, its need for repair and service. I mean, the parks, the highway committee and your staff do a fine job of keeping this highway system working well for the public. I'm not surprised that we have diminished the number of accidents and traffic problems that we've had, because you keep on top of it every day, and we appreciate your plan. You do a really nice job of that, and I think we can be proud of our highway system and what we do for the public's in the public service. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Are there going to be additional speakers?
Good morning, Chair Kordiak, ladies and gentlemen of the board. For the record, my name is Bart Biernot. I am an environmental health specialist with the Public Health and Environmental Services Department. And I'm here to present a brief on the chapter on intergovernmental cooperation. The reason I'm working on this is my environmental health specialty is water. And a lot of the intergovernmental cooperation that's taking place is on the water issues that we are facing. The intergovernmental cooperation plan is more or less to address these issues that not only the county participates in, but our local partners as well. The watershed management organizations and watershed districts, the cities, that all have planning and processes to address the water management. Well, the county does have a part in that too, and we are using the intergovernmental cooperation as a way to address this. Anoka County has addressed our water issues through a water task force and a water resources report that is part of our community health services plan process. So we are updating that with the plan every 5 years. The issues that we are presented, we obviously said we can't do this alone. We have to work with our partners. But we did form a water task force that is a part of our process for preparing our water resources report and also addressing those issues that come up in time. That means that water task force meets regularly to address these issues. We also are participating in a drinking water protection program, and this was a part of our intergovernmental cooperation. Our municipal public water suppliers asked for some help in facilitating protection of the water resources, the city's water resources, or the groundwater that they are drawing into their city systems. So we are working in cooperation with those agencies. We have 11 agencies, or 11 municipalities that are participating in that process. Also, we have a website that we established with the cities and the Anoka County Municipal Water Wellhead Protection Group that we are helping to facilitate, again, getting that information out and encouraging folks with water issues. Also, there are a lot of other areas in the county that are not within the community health, the highway department and their buffers issues that they are addressing now, and other agencies like the community development that also provides services and supports people that need help with their septic systems and their wells and what they have on their property, that they are providing that services to our residents as well. So we have prepared this intergovernmental cooperation. It's a short plan or a chapter that will be that we suggest or we recommend be a part of our comprehensive plan.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Biernat. Does the board have any questions of Mr. Biernat? Any questions? Thank you, sir. Is there any other member of staff that wish to come forward? Okay, at this time, I then would call on any members of the public that wish to come forward and comment to the public, to the board about this particular transportation system plan. Please come forward. Is there any other member of the public that wishes to come forward and offer comment on this plan? And I will ask a third time, is there any member of the public that wishes to come forward and address the board on this plan? Mr. Chair, I see no members of the public coming forward at this time. Then I would close the meeting and turn it back over to you.
Palumbo, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner.
Can I offer Resolution 208-154?
Been offered. That's a combination of a plan of both the highway, the parks, and the intergovernmental activities that will make a submission to the Met Council for. So that's what this resolution is regarding. Any other questions or comments about that? The resolution before us. If there's no further questions, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad. Aye. Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye. Pass. For 10 years. We'll be back for that discussion, but it does guide us in many different arenas. Thank you for that. You know, I'm going to step backwards if you can, and I'm going to step backwards to other in the early part of the just for a moment, because I called the roll early on, and those commissioners who are here weighed in, and we appreciate that. But we're joined by one more commissioner today. We have a county commissioner who served with distinction on our county board, who sat in this chair for a number of years, who departed county government with great laurels, and Commissioner Dennis Berg is here in the middle of the room. Dennis, I appreciate your coming. You've got a long history here, and I thank you for joining us today. I'm sure you enjoyed the transportation discussion. I know how immersed you are in transportation issues throughout your career, as well as all the other aspects of county government. So I welcome you today, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Commissioner, thank you very much. With that, thank you. I remind you, he does serve you today on the Anoka County Historical Board, working on our behalf throughout Anoka County with Rebecca to continue to greet those issues and concerns and interests along the way.
Mr. Chair, seeing as we're stepping back in the agenda a bit, if I could just ask the clerk, did we take a final vote on the minutes? I know I interrupted the discussion and I know we had a motion and a second, but I'm not positive we had a final vote. And as vice chair, I guess it's my duty to keep an eye on the chair.
I need some attention.
I show all yes.
Okay.
We did vote. Fabulous. Mr. Chair, you are doing such a good job.
That we can continue. Thank you, Commissioner, with today's agenda. It's before you, where we can look at item number 10. This is a incident that occurred in Anoka County. I think there in so many other arenas, there was damage to many of our county buildings because of hail throughout our park systems and our county systems. A lot was done in that regard. And is listed for your review and for a roll call vote, ultimately, a number of contracts with entities who have done work on Anoka County's behalf to repair many, many buildings throughout Anoka County. I don't know that I will go through each of the things that were repaired, but you remember that McPhillips worked on a project amount of $212,430. J.J. Haas in the amount of $269.730. We worked with LLC, NMC LLC in the amount of, where do you see that? $188,322. And finally, we worked with Minnesota Exteriors in the amount of $239,346. And I don't know that I heard that we're done, but I assume that we're pretty much taking care of many of those issues that impacted us in this early past last year, I think. There before you, is there a?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move approval of items 10 A through D.
Very good, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any comment about those projects? I assume we're happy with the outcomes, and well, they're regrettable. They've taken care of many different county issues and concerns. With no further discussion, let's call the roll.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Pass. Thank you very much. Takes care of that. We can talk about committee appointments. There's several listed for your consideration. One of them is consider appointing Sean McDonough to the Medical Transportation Emergency Services. He is looking to replace Terry Nelson for a 3-year term. Let's see if I can bunch these. Item number B is regarding reappointing Bob Roback to the Emergency Medical Services Council for a 3-year term. Once again, we have in item number C, Juanita Reed Bonifacius and Reed Mortensen, who serve in Anoka County on behalf of the Minnesota Extension Services, an item that we acted upon earlier, and Ruth Bedore, who serves as an alternate to the Personnel Board of Appeals, who works with employee relations on issues that may arise from time to time. Are there any questions regarding those appointments? If not, I think we're looking for a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair, I would move all of those appointments.
A through D.
Second.
Moved and second. Further comment or discussion? If not, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Carried. We have an item number C for information purposes. Commissioner Silveraja seeks to reappoint Jim Nilmus to the Minneapolis Electrical Board to the Anoka County Workforce Development Board for a term expiring June 30th of 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I would note that we really, I believe, should change that to say for informational purposes, Chair Kordiak's reappointment of Jim Nimlos. So wanted to make sure that the record was correct, as it would be your appointment today.
I would like to appoint Jim Nilmus of Minneapolis Electrical JATC to the Anoka County Workforce Development Council with a term expiring June 30th of 2020. As for information purposes, that's an FYI. Thus it is written and thus it shall be done. I think I'm getting to the end of this agenda, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Pass, Chair. I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that as I prepare to adjourn this meeting, I must report that I find that I have a journey before me and a path that I must follow. While I really appreciate the opportunity to serve on behalf of this county, to serve the interests of the citizens of Anoka County, I think I must look to my vice chair to help me in the ensuing days of the remainder of this year to assist me in any critical issues that come before county government. While I may be accessible, I might not be down the block to take care of certain items. I do have some fear, considering where I'm going, that we may get a little snowfall in the days ahead, and I'll probably find myself shutting the courthouse because I'll see it as a blizzard where I'm at. I thank you, all of you, for your service. You have been a lot of fun. You've taken good care of me. All that you've done, and so many people have been so gracious and I've loved every minute of this, right up until the bitter end, and I thank you for all that we've done together to serve the county's interest. With that, I will, Commissioner, please.
If I might, I know that over your 32 years on the county board, you have experienced many, many changes, worked with a great variety of people with different political bents, different experiences and perspectives and work styles and so forth. And throughout all of that, you have always been extremely gracious, respectful, cooperative, always had a smile on your face, a very positive attitude, and you have always had the pulse of your constituents. I know that you are a person that goes out and knocks on doors every year, and I think you have notes and records of every person that you've talked to and maintain those contacts and those relationships, and you truly have a servant's heart. And I want to personally thank you for your commitment, your passion for libraries and recycling and parks, I think is really unmatched. And you have provided just excellent leadership and service to the citizens of Anoka County and to your constituents. And so I want to thank you. It has been a privilege and honor to serve with you these many years. And I am going to miss tracking you down as you are the wanderer who's making that last minute circle of the boardroom, or those very unexpected ringtones that you have on your phone, whether it be the Macarena or Bad to the Bone or Happy. Or Happy. And it's just one of those things I think that always kind of put a smile on our face and was totally unexpected, or you're breaking out into song as well. So I, again, just want to thank you. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve with you.
Commissioner, thank you. I'll give you the last word. I just might comment, and nobody else in the room will understand this, but I will find a notable place for this where I'm going, because I will. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for all your service. I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you. Commissioner, please.